That's when he tried biting. I ain't even noticed that till somebody said something.
I just know that from experience. So, I think he lost the fight. If we're being really honest, Tank, you lost that fight. I mean, the only reason they gave you the fight was because you would make more money as a champion, but there's no way it's a draw.
I know this from experience, so honestly, I think he lost the fight. Tank, you lost that fight. The only reason they gave you the win was because you'd make more money as a champion. There's no way it was a draw. When a top fighter meets his match in the ring, they often get desperate. We saw this when Mike Tyson bit Holyfield's ear, and now we're...
Thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever seen it with my own two eyes. And
Terence Crawford has sparked even more controversy with his take on GervontaDavis's fight, criticizing the officiating and questioning the outcome. Appearing on The Big Podcast with Shaq, Crawford didn't hold back. He stated that Davis taking a knee should have been ruled a knockdown. He emphasized that any fighter who voluntarily kneels should be counted, and he questioned why the referee stopped mid-count.
To the Tank fight, and when he took the knee, do you really think he had grease in his eye?
Well, let me start by saying 1,000% it should have been called a knockdown if you take a knee in any scenario in the fight. I don't know if he had grease in his eye or what. I know he took a knee, and that should have been called.
If you take a knee at any point in a fight, it should be counted as a knockdown. I'm not sure if Davis had grease in his eye or what, but he took a knee, and that should have been called. Beyond the knockdown debate, Crawford made an even bolder claim. He believed Roach deserved the victory outright. He pointed out that Roach was the busier and more aggressive fighter, landing more shots, while Davis was too inactive in key rounds. While Crawford acknowledged Davis's control in the middle rounds, he argued that Roach dominated.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
Nagy also didn't hold back, calling GervontaDavis a protected fighter and criticizing the fight as just another manufactured moment in boxing. He claimed that Davis has been carefully guided, avoiding real challenges while being hyped as an unstoppable force. According to Malignaggi, the referee's decision to halt the count exposed clear favoritism, proving that Davis gets special treatment. He went even further, saying that any fan still defending Davis after this is blindly supporting a fighter who hasn't truly earned his status. Malignaggi believes...
I don't know, man. I can't keep reiterating how disappointing GervontaDavis has been as far as the resume is concerned. If this is about as manufactured a star as you can make, and anybody who is going to defend that is really got to get their groupie lenses checked, because I've never seen a guy with this many pay-per-view headliners have not a single Hall of Famer on his resume. Not a single win on GervontaDavis's resume will make you.
Danny Garcia took a more balanced approach, but still pointed out a harsh truth. GervontaDavis's struggles were inevitable. He admitted that Tank had a tough night, but blamed it on his lack of real challenges. In Garcia's view, Davis should have been fighting top champions long ago, but his careful matchmaking left him unprepared for real adversity. Now, with the backlash piling up, Garcia believes it's simply the result of years of protection. Fans are frustrated because Davis has avoided true tests like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson.
It's just boxing, you just never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I say in boxing it's better for you to just fight the best. Because if you lose, you lost to a fighter like you, a dog like you. But if you lose to a fighter with a lesser of a name, and you're supposed to win or a performance like this, it hurts your resume.
Orlando Romero echoed a similar sentiment, saying GervontaDavis simply had an off night, just like he did against Isaac Cruz. According to Romero, every fighter has tough nights, but when you're a star like Tank, the criticism is always louder. He pointed out that even the best fighters can have nights where they're not at their best, and that shouldn't necessarily lead to hate. However, with Tank, things are different. People love to criticize him. Romero also mentioned that a friend of Lamont Roach was the one who first told him about the alleged...
People want to discredit Tank, he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or...?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Cruz. Everyone has a night.
Years, the word protected has followed GervontaDavis like a dark cloud. Ever since he aligned with Floyd Mayweather, many in the boxing world have questioned whether he was truly being tested or just carefully managed to keep his undefeated record intact. His opponents were often hand-picked, fights were controlled on his terms, and the biggest names in his division were consistently avoided. Now, after this controversial draw with Lamont Roach, the doubts surrounding his career are louder than ever. The myth of Tank's invincibility has taken a serious hit, and for the first time, the world is seeing what happens when he's not in control. In fact, Canelo took this criticism even further.
Did GervontaDavis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point, and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, if it was a draw, he take a knee. And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face, that's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules.
Boxing fans and professionals have long criticized GervontaDavis for avoiding real challenges. While fighters like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Teofimo Lopez have stepped into dangerous fights, Tank has stayed in his comfort zone. He built his reputation with flashy knockouts, but mostly against opponents who posed little threat. The moment he struggled against Isaac Cruz, the protected label started to stick. And now, with Lamont Roach exposing even more...
Skill for skill, none of these guys can mess with me. Like, nobody. Like, I feel like my skills is way better than, like, Floyd. Like, if I'm on my game. You feel, well, yeah, I take that back. Probably hand in hand. But skill-wise, nobody on TV that's fighting right now have more skills than me. Nobody. Like, I'm talking about top to bottom list of fighters that's fighting on TV.
So what I gotta do with you being, I guess, embarrassing? Like, cause again, we seen you make posts on a story like the fight not happening. Like,
cause I don't never wanna, like, me not doing my job like all the way, like me not training all the way, me not...
Roach did something few expected. He made Tank look vulnerable. He didn't just survive, he fought Tank on even terms and arguably did enough to win. Roach landed clean shots, wobbled Tank, and made him uncomfortable in ways no other opponent has. If he had more power, Tank might have been on the receiving end of a viral knockout, something that could have haunted his career forever. That's what makes this situation different. Tank isn't just dealing with a...
I wasn't even registering or processing through my mind the other rules, to the simple fact that he could have got disqualified for having his corner come up to the ring and assist him during the round. Or
you can't come to the mat.
Do that. Or he can't turn his back on the, like during the fight. That's cause for that's the wave it all. He took a knee and then turned around and went to the corner. A ref will usually stop the fight.
And yet, when asked about a rematch, Tank wasn't his usual self. He wasn't demanding to run it back, brushing off Roach as an easy fight or promising to correct the mistake. Instead, he hesitated. That hesitation is exactly why fans and critics are questioning him more than ever. If Tank truly believed he won, why not shut down the doubters with a rematch? If he thought Roach was no match for him, why not erase the controversy in dominant fashion? The fact that Tank didn't immediately embrace the idea of a rematch only fuels the belief.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
The rematch is unavoidable. The backlash, scrutiny, and questions about his legitimacy have made sure of that. If Tank refuses, he confirms every criticism about his career, that he's been protected, that he avoids real risks, and that he was never as good as he claimed. If he accepts, he steps into the ring knowing that Roach has already hurt him once, and this time, the pressure will be higher than ever. Tank's greatest fear isn't just losing, it's becoming a meme, the punchline of a viral moment. And
100%. It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Darren Boots Ennis sees the backlash against GervontaDavis as nothing more than hate. He believes people have always been looking for a reason to tear Tank down, and this fight just gave them more fuel. According to Ennis, the criticism isn't really about boxing, it's about personal dislike. With Lamont Roach's corner, adding to the chaos by throwing out lawsuits, making allegations, and even claiming Tank tried to bite his ear, the negativity has only intensified. Every controversy, every accusation, and every questionable moment.
Lamont not being in big names, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost, and he didn't, or it was a draw, you know. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning. Moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. Like, he looked sharp to me. You know, I don't know. People just be talking. You know, at the end of the day, you can't.
Teofimo Lopez has never been shy about calling out GervontaDavis. And after watching Tank struggle against Lamont Roach, he's more convinced than ever that Tank isn't as talented as people think. To Teofimo, the fight exposed Tank's limits. Forget the ear-biting allegations. The real story was how much Tank struggled. He wasn't in control, wasn't dominant, and at times looked lost. If Roach could give him that much trouble, Teofimo believes there's no way Tank survives against Shakur Stevenson. In his eyes, Shakur would pick Tank apart with ease, proving once and for all that he has been overrated. Of course, Tank's camp doesn't see it that way. Coach Kenny Ellis fired back at Teofimo, saying he wouldn't survive.
But now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to put that on Teo, because he don't deserve it, but it's a certain area, if he get cut, his career is just about done. Because I've seen him with several fighters in the past.
Adding to Teofimo Lopez's take, Shakur Stevenson has also joined the conversation. Stevenson has been pushing for a fight with GervontaDavis for a while, and after watching Tank's performance against Lamont Roach, he feels even more confident about what would happen if they met in the ring. To Stevenson, Roach exposed Tank's flaws. He wasn't in control, he wasn't dictating the pace, and he wasn't prepared for what Roach brought. In Stevenson's eyes, Tank overlooked Roach and paid the price. He expected an easy...
The talk throughout the years, what you would do against somebody like Tank, your style versus his, was that not the blueprint? And can you not do 10x that?
I'm not even going to show him, but look, I want some money tonight. That's all I'm happy for. I want money tonight.
Shakur, tell us something, bro. Like, what did you think about the decision? Okay.
We still got to see each other. He say he want to fight me, so we going to fight.
But what do you think about the decision?
I told Lamont won.
You told Lamont won. Got you. I talked to you.
What stood out most to Shakur Stevenson was how Tank reacted under pressure. He believes Roach's ability to counter and push forward made Tank uncomfortable, something that rarely happens in his fights. When Roach landed his best shots, Stevenson saw a fighter who wasn't as dominant as people believed. Now, with fans and fighters questioning Tank's ability, Stevenson sees an opportunity. He's ready to prove that Tank has always been overrated, and if Tank continues to avoid him, Shakur is setting his sights on the man who shook the legend, Lamont Roach. In fact, Roach recently revealed that a fight...
And said that if you can't get the rematch, he has a championship fight waiting for you. What do you think about that?
That's why I love him. Genuinely speaking, man, that's what I want to do. I want to fight the best fights. You know, like I said, hopefully we can get the rematch. If not, hopefully I can, well, more than likely we can get in there with Shakur because, we already talked.
Eddie Hearn thinks the backlash against GervontaDavis has gone too far. While he agrees that the 9th round wasn't clean and that Tank should have been given a knockdown count, he doesn't believe it's enough to overturn the result. To Hearn, a warning would have been the right call, not a suspension, not a disqualification. and certainly not changing the outcome of the fight. He also doesn't expect the New York Athletic Commission to intervene, seeing the controversy as something that should push Tank to come back stronger rather than discredit his career. While some believe the fight should be reviewed, Hearn doesn't think Roach should be awarded the win. Instead, he sees this as a lesson for Tank, one that should motivate him.
Watch the fight. We had a show that night. I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, oh, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning. But it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where...
Rogan didn't hold back when reacting to GervontaDavis's controversial draw against Lamont Roach. While many were debating whether Tank truly deserved the result, Rogan focused on Roach's performance. He admitted he hadn't watched Roach fight before, but was now a big fan, something that felt like an indirect jab at Tank. Instead of praising Davis, Rogan highlighted Roach's skills and expressed hope for a rematch, a statement that only fueled the ongoing debate. For Davis, this wasn't just another opinion. It was yet another high-profile figure questioning his dominance. Rogan's words added to the growing narrative that
it becomes a victory. I think it should be a victory for him, and I think they should do a rematch.
100%.
Everybody saw it. You can't get around what everybody saw. Look, it wasn't a legit knockdown like he hurt Tank. Tank did have some shit in his eyes, but what are you doing putting your hair when you have a world title fight? That's crazy.
And no one want to hear about it in the middle of a fight. No one cares. If a fly by, drop the ball, bro.
Right.
Drop the damn ball. We don't care if a fly flew by your helmet or your eyes.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck.
You can't be a championship fighter and taking a knee and putting on those type of performances.
Also, what are they putting in his hair? That when he's sweating,